Okay. Hi. Hi everyone, I'm Kinnin11. I'm gonna be speedrunning Ōkami. And I'll be doing that in the New Game Plus version of the game. What the difference is between running it in New Game and New Game Plus, I'll explain along the way. There's some really cool glitches there, and we'll get there when we'll get there, basically. One thing that New Game Plus does give us, since I'm running on the PS3 version, it gives us the ability to skip all the cutscenes. In the New Game run of PS3, we would not be able to skip all the cutscenes, so that's a really big difference in time already on this specific version. Okay, let's see if I've got everything correctly set up. Yes, I'm gonna get this one out of the way because it's already annoying me. Okay, so I'm gonna start the file, but the timer is not gonna start yet. We kind of we work by in-game time, and we try to approximate the RTA timer as much as we can from the RTA, basically. So we're gonna try that. So yeah, here we go. So right off the bat, I'm going to be skipping a bunch of story cutscenes. I'm not really going to go into the story because we're going to be skipping so much that the story doesn't really matter all that much. You only really need to know what the game does. Another thing that I'll be doing, if you notice, is I'm going to be jumping in and out of cutscenes. So right here I'm going to jump in. And now I'm gonna kind of weirdly jump out. What this is called is speed restoration. Basically, you can see that Ami is running kind of quickly. That is on a timer, so to speak. And by jumping in and out of cutscenes, we keep that speed throughout. It's a very useful technique. It saves a lot of time throughout the run. And there are different ways of doing it, and you'll see it as we go along. So the main gimmick of this game is called the brush. With the brush you can manipulate the world, like complete a constellation. And by completing a constellation you get a new brush power, as it's called. And with those brush powers you can manipulate the world. Like in this case, I can restore this river with the brush power I've just gotten. Throughout the run, I'll be collecting a couple of brush powers. I think the number is 7. There are 13 in total, but we only need 7 to complete the game. And I'll explain why later. There we go. So the thing right there, you saw me restart my speed just now. Speed does not carry over during area loads, basically. If you stay on the same map, you can save your speed, but most of the time you can't, so now I get to drink some water. Yeah. So right here we're gonna get our next brush power. I'm once again gonna do the jumpy bit to save speed. Saves about a second over not doing it. And this time we learn Power Slash, which allows us to slash things. Now casually, Power Slash is basically your bread and butter when it comes to quick damage when you're not really using your weapons, so it's kind of cool. So coming up next, we're gonna do our first fight skip. Technically second, but whatever. We're gonna be running around here, and we skip the fight. So this is the thing in Ōkami. A lot of the game basically does not really have really big triggers for things. So quite often you'll see me move around weird ways to skip certain triggers and make sure that I don't have to fight them. Same goes for cutscenes. There are a couple of cutscene skip, like full-on cutscene skips that we do that are worth doing, even though we can skip all the cutscenes, if that makes any sense. Because the way cutscene skips work is that we can skip the text in the cutscene. We can't skip the cutscene itself. Here we go. So coming up next, we are going to be doing the main glitch of this category, as you can call it. It's called the Karmic Transformer glitch. The reason why is because it involves a New Game Plus item called the Karmic Transformers. I'm going to be switching the controller, the one transformer, and by doing so... Oh, come on. There we go. By doing so, I get an extra jump. Basically, what the idea of the glitch is that for like 1 frame or something, the game thinks you're on the ground. So if you manage to get a tackle input in for that 1 single frame, you will get a jump back, because you've interrupted the game putting you back into the air. And because of that, you can basically get infinite jumps. And that kind of breaks the game completely open, because a lot of the walls and triggers just don't really matter anymore. And it's the reason why this speedrun is, I guess you could say, relatively short. There we go. So right here I'm going to be going into the menu, and I'm going to do a couple of equips. These are like late game weapons and special items that will make the run a lot easier. And the only reason why I equip them now is because I need to go into the menu for this item. So this giant explosion you just saw, that's called an Exorcism Slip. They are incredibly overpowered. If you ever get stuck in this game casually and you're just like, oh, I can't do it anymore, just use Exorcism Slips. They're really powerful. And we're going to be using a lot of them to basically cheese most of the fights in this game. Another item I equipped in that menu was the String of Beads. And it's the second item that basically makes fighting trivial in this category. It basically gives me 10 times attack power, so just about everything dies with 1 hit. And it allows me to basically never die and never have to like wait for my ink to return so I can use the brush again. It's a very useful item for New Game Plus, and is another reason why this category is pretty fast. So cool little fact here, I'm going to be using the Sunrise ability, but I never technically got it, so you don't see like a nice animation of the sun and everything. This is because for some reason in the game does not need you to have Sunrise at all. Like, at the very important story moments in the run, if you try to use Sunrise, it will use Sunrise. You don't need to have it. Which is kind of cool. Like, that's 1 brush power skipped right there. So over there is a Guardian Sapling. It's kind of tiny though, so we're gonna go over here into the best section of the run. So everyone say after me. Here we go. We're gonna help this dude. Sue! Sa! No! Susano! And now, my ultimate weapon! Exploding Implosion! So yeah, that's very important to do. This is the ball. The ball is the worst thing in this entire game. Its collision is a little bit too precise, making it very difficult to properly control. You might notice I just push it against walls and whatever to make sure that it goes into the direction I want it to go. Otherwise, I would be like... it can get really annoying. I got a pretty decent ball there. For instance, you can randomly clip through the ball, for instance. That has happened before. It's not fun. So by doing this, we get another brush power. This is Bloom, and it lets us bloom trees. Get nice cherry blossoms. And by blooming trees, specifically these very large trees, we can restore areas back to what they are supposed to look like. And using that is very important to be able to continue the game. So right here, I just skipped a fight, just by jumping around like that. It's actually kind of close to get around that trigger, but it looks easy to do. So right here, the campfire fight has respawned, but simply by running around it like this, we skip the fight. Yeah, I love the visuals in this game. I love the fact that it's gotten so many good remakes, making it HD. Or HD remasters, rather. Because it just looks really good. So right here we're gonna bloom this tree, and that'll allow us to continue on in our speedrun. So at this point in the story, you would be doing like a lot of like really big, like really interesting things in Shinshu Field. Like if I open the map, you see a bunch of red dots of like, oh, you should go here, oh, you should check that out. But yeah, we're just gonna skip all that. Ain't nobody got time for that. We're just gonna go straight over here and use our infinite jump glitch to get to the next area. So part of the infinite jump glitch is that frame perfect input, which can be annoying. I buffer basically a frame to be able to check if I had gotten the jump. It's very important. So right here at the start of Agata Forest, I'm going to be doing a different kind of trick. This is called Brush Adventure. So I'm going to push the brush outside and then move the camera. And that way you kind of push the camera out of bounds and you kind of unlock movement. And we can bloom Agata Forest out of bounds. It's a really cool little trick and I absolutely love it. It's really cool. It's one of the newer tricks that, well, newer. It's like a year-old trick now, but it definitely improved the speedrun a lot. So right outside of this cave, there is like a fight. So by infinite jumping over there or KTing over there, I skip it. Just as easy. And I'm gonna do another KT right here. This is to specifically skip some movement. Because I want to go up here and activate this pond. So you saw the little sparkles and everything come up. That is a mermaid spring, and we're going to be using those for fast travel a little bit later on. It's very important. So yeah, again, usually when you enter an area, you're like, oh, I'm going to do a lot of things, but you know what? We're just gonna say to hell with it, or to heck with it, sorry. And go straight into the next area. Because we can. Just as easily. So yeah, this is Takapas. Now because we've been skipping so much, we can't really go into the next bit the usual way. So right there you've got this great big rock and you need a specific brush power to be able to open it. But we skipped that. So instead of using a brush power, we are going to go and do a KT, because of course we are. A lot of this category is just like, use a KT to get past here, which is so 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 now people who have played Ōkami might like be like, wait a minute. Isn't the tree like on a little little raised platform? Couldn't you just KT up there and bloom it? No. For some reason, I have to go all the way here and go down here, get into this cutscene, and then we're gonna fight this dude, we're gonna one-hit him, and then I have to go all the way back to the tree and bloom it to restore the area. Why? Probably some flag they set at some point in development, so that you can't do weird stuff with a brush to bloom it. Maybe. It's a thing. Coincidentally, the only version, there is one version where you can actually bloom the tree straight off the bat, and that is specifically the Japanese Wii version. We have no idea why, but that version, it works. It's something. So there you have the tree, nicely in view. I'm gonna jump off here to get a little closer, so I can bloom it. There we go. I should have drank some water there. Stay hydrated, everyone. It's been very warm here, so I'm sweating a bit more than usual. Okay, so for the first time we're actually going to be properly engaging with an area. And we're going to be doing 2 things before leaving. 2 things? Wow. Instead of just 1? Whew. Also, you have a Bork button. It's very important. So right here is a demon gate. If you go under the demon gate, you get a fight. So yeah, like I said, I basically have a bunch of late game items and New Game Plus special items that make fights trivial. And that's just going to continue for the rest of the run. So by doing that fight, I restore an area and get a mermaid spring that I'm gonna have to that I'm able to use later. Right here, we're gonna go into Sasa Sanctuary. Now, basically to get in, you have to do this weird side quest that takes a long time to do. So instead, we're gonna be using a very interesting little tidbit of Ōkami development, basically. I'm gonna do this a little bit safely. So I'm gonna KT right here to jump over the loading zone. So right there, I'm out of bounds. And then we're gonna jump down here. Do an extra KT for extra space. There we go. I'm gonna use the map to get myself to a very specific point onto the map. And after I get there, I'll explain what I'm doing. So this is called an interior clip. So there we have the inside of the area that I'm in. So in this game, when you have a map, you have exterior areas and interior areas. And all of the interior areas of a map are below the exterior areas of a map. This is to make warping between them a little bit easier. And we can abuse that by going out of bounds and just falling into the area that we want to be going into. There we go. I'm gonna be doing a couple more, well, at least one more, so you get to see it again in action. So this is a digging minigame. There are a couple of these in the game. This one is mandatory. And basically you just need to get Mr. Bamboo over there to the bottom of the stage as quickly as possible. And then dig through this little area. And by doing so, we get ourselves a new brush power. So the brush power we just got is called Water Spout. It basically allows me to control water like this. if I can actually hit the bird. There we go. But also, I can create pillars of water to stand on, which is kind of cool. So now that we're done with this area, we're going to be escaping through it, because we technically never opened the gate. So we're going to be having to do a bunch of KTs, and I'm going to have to focus for those. Nice, that was perfect. So right there, I just land on the invisible wall for a bit, so I can jump over. Saves a little bit of time ammo. It probably doesn't, but it looks fancy. So yeah, I'm gonna take a sip of water, and we're gonna go into the next area. So this is City Checkpoint, and we are going to be doing a skip called CC Skip, because it's the City Checkpoint skip. Even though technically we skip the Moon Cave doing this. Naming things properly is hard. So I'm gonna swim over to the other side of the river. And like, you're not actually supposed to do that at all. Like, you usually just drown. But over here is a little corner, and by going into that corner we get a jump, and it allows us to get on top of the geometry. And by getting on top of the geometry, it's a difficult word to say, weirdly enough, I can KT my way up. Ooh, wait, need to do an extra one. Nice, nailed it. And get to the other side. You're absolutely not supposed to be on this side while everything is still up, because you can see right there, they don't have any back-facing polygons, so you can just see right through the buildings. It's kind of funny. And on to the next area. Ryoshima Coast. Probably mispronouncing, but hey. Who gives a toss? So right here we're going to be jumping into a curse zone real quick. A curse zone is basically an area you can move through, but you can't use the brush and you slowly like drown, so to speak. All of this just to skip a fight. There we go. And then we're going to be doing another brush adventure. This one is a little bit less complicated. And just do that. Now the cool thing is I've activated 2 cutscenes at the same time, allowing me to use the brush during the cutscene. I can also move during this cutscene, but doing that, well, I could crash the game. So let's not do that. It's not a good thing to do. Don't remember who found that by heart, but it's bad. Don't do it. So now that we've restored Ryoshima Coast, we're going to be doing another interior clip. This one is a little bit more interesting because we're going to be clipping through something that allows us to get out of bounds. So right here, ooh, almost got it. I'm going to try the fast version. Okay, didn't work. Come on, come on. There we go. Ah! So there's some weird geometry things going on here. Please. Please. Okay, I'm just gonna do what I usually do. Shouldn't have tried it. There we go. So it works a little bit easier on full speed, so... Oh boy, I did not get forward momentum. So yeah, right here, this is another interior clip, so I need to make sure I'm on the right spot. And this allows me to fall into the dojo. There we go. And right here is basically the whole reason for this first, like, 20 minutes of the run, is we need to get to this section, to this bit. Because right here we're going to be learning a new technique, as they're called double jump. basically cutting the amount of KTs we have to do by more than half. Which is really useful. So yeah, that's literally the first part of this run, is get double jump. Now we're gonna go to the next part of the run, which is get all the rush powers that are needed to finish the game. And you can have 3 guesses as to what the final part of the run is. So right here, I'm gonna go a little bit wide and jump around, because there is a fight right there. So by doing this little KT, we skip that. Now there's this really big city to the right that I just kind of glossed over. We're gonna skip that and just go straight to this area right here. Just jump over the gate, don't worry about it. The guards aren't stopping me, so it's fine. And we're gonna go to North Ryoshima Coast. Right here we have Orca. Orca is telling us that we're slow. It's just like, oh, dude, it took 24 minutes to get here. Like, wow. Most casual players take like 12 hours to get here. Doing my best, okay? Orca has no chill. So, I've been talking about mermaid springs before and being able to warp in between them. I haven't been able to buy the necessary coins to do that until right here. So, you're supposed to trigger a certain cutscene that will give you the mermaid spring coins, the mermaid coins, but we skipped that cutscene. But once you get to a certain point in the game assumes you've already gotten that cutscene and just gives you the mermaid coins. It's really useful. So right here's another instance of using sunrise even though we don't have it. Soren Orca! And we're just gonna leave Orca there for now. It's basically just pure setup. We're gonna be using him later, but it's important to put him there. And then we're gonna be using this mermaid spring to backtrack a bit and get the brush powers that we need to finish the game. Yeah, there are so many arcs to this game, it's really cool. There we go. So I'm gonna do a bunch of movement here, so take your time, stretch your legs. And I'll explain a very interesting trick that I'm gonna be doing. It's called Origin Warp. Basically what it does is by jumping into a loading zone, like from this one to the next for instance, by jumping right as I enter that loading zone, the next area, I basically don't set a respawn point. Like basically, because I'm in the air once I enter the area, I don't have a respawn point. So what does it default to? 0, 0, 0, aka origin. So after doing that, after getting that frame, I try to void out, and by doing that void, I will be I'll respawn to 0, 0, 0. And in this case, it's a very, very, very useful spot. And you'll see once I do it, it basically saves, what is it, 4 to 6 minutes over the old strat. To do it, I'm gonna have to mash, and I'm gonna use this little hair tie to make sure that I don't ruin my hands doing it, because I just suck at mashing. There we go, first try, wow. So now I'm going to have to KT through this tunnel and not land like that. Damn it. This might take a bit. I did practice this, but it can be a little tricky. I basically said to myself that I will donate $5 every time I fill it up to 25. So we're at $10 now. $15. It can be really obnoxious, especially during marathons. It's not nice. There we go, got the frame. Ooh. I'm not gonna trust it. I'm not gonna trust that. First drop I trusted, the second one I didn't. $20. Okay, got it again. So yeah, not landing, like, it sounds really easy, like, oh, you just do the KT thing, but, like, KTs are still frame perfect. And you need to make sure that you don't fail any of them, basically. Yeah, I also prefer the 100 KTs. It's a lot more fun to do. Just doing 100 frame perfect tricks in a row is so much easier than doing this bullshit. Oops, I need to keep it PG, I'm sorry. It's just this is one of the most frustrating parts of the run. And I have lost many runs to this. Was that PG-13? I don't know what counts as PG-13. So, we got it. Woo! Ah, that tunnel sucks. At least I hope I got it. Yes, we got it. So we land right here in the middle of the dungeon, in an area that was just perfect for us, basically. We just need to do a bunch of KTs to go up, and go to the brush power that we need. That was not bad. That was 4 tries. So yeah, in this section I'm gonna have to be doing a bunch of KTs, so I'll probably be a little bit more on the silent side. I can talk during KTs, but... Heck, I was talking during the tunnel, like... Ah! Should've kept my mouth shut. Come on, there we go. Okay, get over the invisible wall. So right up there is going to be a platform, and that's where we're going to be reaching for. So the old strat used to basically do the opposite of an interior clip, and just do a bunch of KTs all the way up to that platform. And that took about 6 to 8 minutes to, well, about 8 minutes to do if you're good. And if you were first starting out, usually it took about 15 minutes to do, and by the end you were absolutely drenched in sweat. So yeah, that's the one nice thing about this trick. It saves a lot of effort. It's just very frustrating. So yeah, now we've reached the top. I'm gonna reverse this dark wind. Ōkami, the original ring fit. And by reversing the wind, we get a new brush power. You can have a guess as to what this brush power is going to be. Yes, it's fire, that's correct. No, it's wind. So yeah, we need that one later on in the run. But now we're done with this dungeon. There is like a boss at the end of this, but you know... we're just gonna skip through it. So that is a thing you can do in both New Game Plus and in New Game. It's a really cool little trick. It skips having to walk all your way down the dungeon. And we got a little intro cutscene because we're basically running through the dungeon in reverse now and we've never been here before. Got a little cutscene here. And now we're back at the start of the tunnel where I got annoyed. Haha. There we go. And now we're gonna go on to the next brush power. And it's gonna take a lot of movement, so I'm just going to take a sip of water. Very important. So, because we got Gilstorm now, this area is in a weird double state. And that's very useful. It's basically both cursed and not cursed, so we can void out right here. And we start at the beginning. Because in the cursed bit, if you died, you would start at the beginning of the area. So we could just void out and start right there. It's a neat little time saver. So right here we're gonna go down to this mermaid spring that we prepared earlier. And we are going to the mermaid spring that I prepared all the way at the start in Agata. Wow. I'm terrible at drinking. I always drink water. I always drink air while I drink. Yes, I also always drink water. Good one. Good one, Kinnin. I swear I'm a normal person. So yeah, this is just backtracking. You got the little kid over there being sad. Oh, I couldn't see him, but whatever. We're gonna skip all that. You basically need to do a little mini game with him to get a key to go into the next dungeon over there to the right. But you know, we've got this really cool infinite jump glitch. That allows us to just jump over here and fall into the loading zone. You know? So this is Tuta Ruins. Right off the bat, I'm gonna just jump up here. This skips both a cutscene and we're gonna skip most of this dungeon by doing this. Ah, damn. I can't. Am I gonna go for I'm gonna go for Kinnin Clip. Oh, I got it! Woo! I got my own clip. So what usually happens is there's this invisible wall and then you have to like jump over it. But you can if you go to a very specific spot with a very specific speed, you can clip through. You can kind of clip under it and get up there a little bit quicker. You only really got one try, and that's fine. You can have 3 guesses as to who found that clip. Some say he's got a beard. Others say he's got way too many Kirby plushies. All we know is it's called Kinnin. Okay, so coming up is what we like to call what we like to call cutscene skip. There is a cutscene coming up right here. I'm gonna try to skip it. And we didn't get it, damn. So there is like a, you saw it like flash. There's like a 1-frame window for you to skip this cutscene. This cutscene takes 18 seconds, and there's 1 frame, and you just have to mash and pray to be able to skip it. It's terrible. It's the worst part about running New Game Plus on the PS3. Ah, damn. So right here I'm cutting through the pots. You're supposed to walk all the way around and go to the pots, but you can just cut them down from the ground quite easily. And now we've restored Tsuta Ruins to something a bit more pretty. And a loading zone in the center of the area now exists. It's the whole reason why we did this. Because right down here, you see that the water is nice and clean and there's a loading zone. Wow! And inside here we're going to be using a different feature of the bloom brush power called Green Sprout, which allows us to restore these like dying areas. And we need to do this for a new brush power. This brush power is called Vine. And it basically allows us to pull things from those little flowers to it. Yeah, pull things to those little flowers. Including ourselves, which is kind of cool. So now we're gonna go out of the dungeon, but the cutscene that we skipped at the start is still there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we're just gonna hit it because I suddenly couldn't KT. Reminder, KTs are frame perfect. They have a really nice visual cue, which helps, but that still doesn't mean that you can get them easily. Nice one, Darkness. Shoutouts to Bork. Wrong. Brain. Just pure muscle memory right there. The moment I need to think, I forget. There, I got 2 Borks. So yeah. Now that we've done that, for the next bit, we're gonna have to make it night. Now usually, if you play this casually, at the point where you would need to make it night, you would have a specific brush power that allows you to make it night. However, we don't have that. So we're gonna have to be a little bit more creative. And to do this, we're gonna go all the way back to the start of the game in Shinshu Field. So it's like the second or third area I was in. And we're gonna complete one of those red marks I was talking about. So if I open the map, you see like, well, there's only 1 red mark now. But there's one little mission right here that we're gonna be completing. So over here, we're gonna go into this little hut. Talk to these priests, and this priest gives us a monster list. Now the monster list is like, there are specific enemies that you can defeat that are on the list. And the game basically shows you like, hey, they only show up at night. So the game makes it night for you. Which is perfect for us, because, well, we need to have it night. We need to have it be night. Good English. For the record, English is my second language. There we go. And whenever you defeat a monster, you cross its name off the list. There we go. I just don't... I can't read the Japanese, I just match the symbols. I've like a couple of symbols that I look for. And right here we're gonna go into this Demon Gate. Because completing this Demon Gate will give us a Mermaid Spring, so we can continue. So we can like go back to where we need it to be night. Oh my god. Oh my. Okay, well, guess you're getting slipped. Yeah, I don't need store speed. There we go. Ooh, I always overshoot this one. It's kind of annoying. So we're gonna go all the way back to North Ryoshima Coast now and continue on. There we go. So I kind of did some very unoptimal movements, but that allows me to have full speed right here to make these jumps, and that ends up saving time. And we're gonna go onto Orca. So Orca is a platform that we can swim. Well, it's an orca. It's a mammal that allows us to move around this water very quickly, and it also gives us a platform on top of the water. Because I can't actually do this infinite jump glitch above water unless I do very specific things. And it's a lot easier to just use a platform in this case for what I want to do. There we go. And straight onto Watcher's Cape. So the reason why we want it to be night is so we can go over here. We can draw a star for that guy, which he will make a wish for a specific galaxy to appear, the Whirlpool Galaxy. And look, there it is! But you know, there's one problem with it. There's one really big problem. It's not spinning. You know, let's summon some wind. You know what? See? Look at that. Now that we've got some wind, it's moving. Look at that. Isn't that wonderful? And by spinning it, we create a whirlpool in the water. Ah, I hate that. I need to remember that. There we go. Back onto our platform. And now that we've got that whirlpool up, we're just gonna swim into it because, you know, it looks cool. And hey, well, what do you know? There's a whole palace down here. You know, I bet they got a really cool dragon that's like really long and whatever. You know, like a big one with teeth. Like so big we could like go into it. You know what? Let's find out. Let's look for one. Okay, well, it looks like a dragon, but it's a lot shorter than I expected. So that's the cool thing about going out of bounds. Why draw the rest of the dragon when you just need the head, you know? Now we are inside of the water dragon. So, basically the idea of this one is that there's like something bad going on with this water dragon, and we're gonna try and help him. Oh wait, I said I wouldn't spoil things, I'm sorry. Just gonna go around the safe way. There's some interesting KTs you can do there, but... eh. They're only like 6 seconds faster. Oh, fun fact, you can drop the key and it'll just reappear back into your mouth. Ain't that wonderful? So right there we got an orb, and we're gonna do something very interesting. We're just gonna use some water on it. So what you're supposed to do here is you're supposed to go into the back right there and release some acid. However, the way it's coded is that you just need to use water spout on that orb. So by using some camera trickery, we can just use water spout on that orb. It's honestly very elegant programming, in my opinion. It's just that they never figured that people would try to water spout it with water. It's been patched in later versions, sadly. And now we're gonna go to a really big luck oriented part. So you see all these droplets falling around. I like to call them acid droplets. If they hit you, you get like thrown back and hurt. So if you get hit over water, it's a bad thing because you just fall down. And I didn't. Nice, I got lucky. It's like a solid 20 seconds of time loss if you get hit while you're in midair over there. It's really obnoxious. It's one of the few true random parts of the run that can really annoy you. They can heck you a lot. But yeah, we got lucky. There we go. So now we're gonna report to the the head honcho, like, hey, your dragon wasn't as impressive as I thought it will, I thought it would be. You know, it's kind of lame. And they didn't get mad at us, and they just throw us out. Like, okay, I'll go. I'm sorry. Just wanted to see cool dragon, okay? Don't need to throw like epic music at me or something. There we go. Do enjoy this music though, it's really cool. Ah! I hate when that happens. Oh, cool thing by the way. I'm gonna show off a very useless glitch. But it's very important for me to show it off during marathons. So I'm gonna grab this horse. Because you can grab horses, switch Karmic to informers, and whee! That's called the telekinetic grab. It is the most useless glitch in this game, officially, and I love it. Gonna drink some water, stay hydrated. Oh damn. Speed reset. So yeah, going up on slopes like that is kind of annoying. There's some weird polygons there that'll push you up. Oh hey, it's a ghost. Cool. Oh damn, the ghost went through the wall. That's cool. Let's see what's on the other side of the wall. Oh hey, it's a well. Let's go into it, see what happens. So yeah, people who've played Ōkami before might recognize this as the cutscene that happens when you enter Sion, but we end up in the tunnel right here rather than at that bridge. Because this is the first time we've entered the area. So yeah, we're really sequence breaking a lot. As you might have noticed, I'm not talking about the story at all, I'm just making up a story as I go along. It's what I like to do for marathons, because, you know, I don't want to spoil the game. It's a beautiful game with really cool story, and everyone should play it. It's just that the Speedrun is too short for me to properly explain everything. So right here we have a bunch of lava. Oh, I do need to make sure I'm high enough. There we go. And we just jump over it. Yeah, lava at the top of a tower. Oh, she doesn't look too good. Hope she's alright. Oh, and suddenly we're fighting. Okay, cool. Fight done. So yeah, fights are trivial. Oh hey! Okay, so this was officially the slowest I've done this bit ever. On these splits. I'm running with splits on the background, by the way. That's kind of funny. 1, 2, 3. So this bit you can actually do without using Karmic Transformers. I usually do it right there to make sure I don't hit a specific cutscene and fall into the lava and die. But there's also a way of actually jumping over there without specific items. And it like involves multiple frame perfect inputs. I think it's about 4 frame perfect inputs. It's like the biggest time save in New Game any % ever, just about. And it's pretty crazy. It's a really cool glitch. Well, glitch, a really cool trick. So we're doing this bit backwards. You're supposed to talk to Waka again, but we don't care. And we're jumping down here to skip a cutscene. There we go. We just got the most important skip there. Bridge bump skip. So again, we're doing this entire area backwards, so we get this like, oh hey, look at this! This is a new area! And it's just like, you know, we've been here before. Well, we haven't actually been here before, but, you know, we're doing this backwards. It's kind of weird. So yeah, what we're about to do is we're gonna be fighting against the big bad, and we're running towards the area that the dungeon of the big bad, basically. So yeah, we've got our first actual boss fight coming up, and we're only 2/3 of the way into the run. Ain't that amazing? So yeah, there's the dungeon, shrouded in clouds. It's pretty cool. And we're just gonna go there. Oh hey, realistic Ōkami. Oh, is that a God Hand reference? I didn't know. So yeah, I'm gonna be attempting another origin warp right here. It's my favorite useful origin warp, so I'm gonna do my best to get it for the marathon. If I don't get it and I have time left, I'll show it off anyway, maybe, because it's a lot of fun. So I'm gonna do the little trick again, so I can do a double-handed mash. I'm only gonna try it once because otherwise it's not worth it. Nope, didn't get it. Ah, that sucks. So instead we're going to be doing the other method. The origin warp is maybe a little bit faster. I should have done the KT there. Ah, damn. Should have realized that. I'm just going to KT up here now. There we go. So yeah, this is the other method, which honestly I think is about as fast, if not faster. So we're gonna go out of bounds here and we're gonna run along the slope of this dungeon. This allows us to skip about 3/4 of this entire dungeon, which is a good thing because this dungeon is one of my least favorite dungeons to play through. This trick is also possible in New Game. It's basically every single category does this skip. There is no category that does not do this. It's actually a little bit stupid. That's how much we dislike this this dungeon. So right there you see a statue, and by doing a rejuvenation on that statue, we get a... There we go. We get a little cutscene, and with that cutscene we get ourselves a new brush power. This is Thunderstorm, and you can play your AC/DC if you want to. Thunderstorm allows us to control thunder the same way that we control water. So you're supposed to go through the door we just opened, but instead we're going to backtrack a little bit. Because this is the one of the few dungeons we cannot escape once we have entered it. So we're going to have to finish this dungeon. So I just went out of bounds there. The cool thing about most dungeons is that most of the dungeon is on the same map. This is one of the few exceptions. This dungeon has about 5 different maps, and I just went from one map to the other, and now we're gonna do this 2D section to go to the next map. I used to play AC/DC in this section as a meme, like Thunderstorm, Thunderstruck, you know. There we go. That was a really solid 2D section. So right here, by entering this key, we start a global timer. Well, we just started timer, basically. So I can just take it easy here. I don't need to go fast, because I'm going to have to wait once I get over here anyway, as you can see. I'm gonna try and get this without using a power slash. Ah! Didn't get it. So close. Oh well. Coming up next, we're gonna do another very cool and interesting trick. It's been like first found in New Game, and we copied it for this one, and it's called Toby Skip, so you can already have a guess at what we're skipping. Skipping the best character in the game, because we do not want him to die. Wow, come on. Okay, let me restart this. Sometimes KTs just kind of stop working for a bit. It's a little bit annoying. There we go. So right here, I'm gonna try and get to a very specific spot. There we go. I'm gonna let myself get pulled by this vine. I'm gonna take my time doing it. And it'll pull me out of bounds and allow me to revine right here on the other side of this wall, which skips having to open that gate. And that skips Toby. It's pretty cool. So yeah, you can do that in both, you can do that in just about any version of the game. It's a really cool little glitch. Well, I'm not even sure if you can call it a glitch, but oh well. So going in here, we're gonna finally have our first boss fight. Finally! So yeah, we skipped about like 4 boss fights now. So yeah, this is our first one. This is Ninetales. During the first phase, we need to damage Ninetales enough for him to split. And then we just look for a specific version of himself that we're gonna hit first, because they take more damage than a single slip to kill. And after doing that twice, we can go on to the final phase, where we can just hit Ninetales, which in this case means that we one-shot him. There we go. Pretty cool. So after doing this bit, we have all the brush powers we need to finish the game. So let's go finish the game, shall we? If only it was as easy as saying it, you know? It's gonna be a couple of scares coming up. Ōkami go mode, exactly. There we go. Didn't make the jump, but still got the speed. It's actually a little bit more tricky to save speed through that jump sometimes. There's some weird stuff going on there you need to be aware of. So now we're gonna go back to the Shinshu field where we went earlier to make it night. And because we got Thunderstorm, we can open the door to the... Well, you could basically call the last like big area of the game. So first you had like the Shinshu field area, so to speak. Then you had the Ryoshima area, and now we're gonna go to the Kamui area. If anyone is worried about getting spoiled because we're getting so close to the end, don't worry. We're gonna basically skip everything story related in the last section of the game, except for the final bits. The very final bits. Specifically the final boss, so yeah. So right here we got some tunnels. And we can save speed through them, which is kind of useful. So right off the bat here, we are going to go out of bounds. This allows us to skip a fight and skip some dialogue and stuff. That takes a while to do. So we're gonna go to an invisible wall, bonk off of it to get some momentum for the rest. There we go. So you see there that giant rock. Inside of that rock is the guardian sapling that allows us to restore the area. And instead of first breaking the rock, we just go underneath and bloom the tree from inside. Restoring the area. So right here is a bit of a scary moment. There's a fight trigger. If I hit that fight trigger, I soft lock. So let's hope I don't hit that fight trigger. I'm gonna do some safety KTs to make sure I don't hit it. Nice fan lag. Okay, well, we're just gonna do... Oh boy. I'm gonna do 2 up. There we go. This is more than enough. As long as I don't lose too much height, you're fine. Okay, we're fine. Cool. Usually I take that in like 2 KTs to get over when I'm actually trying to go fast. But for marathon safety, I would very much like to just take my time to go over there. I do have a save file ready, but it's not really a good save file to use. So this is a nice little quaint village, but everyone's afraid of me, so I'm just not gonna bother staying here too long, you know? They're all scared of me, you know, it's fine. I mean, I do have a giant sword on my back, so it's only natural. There we go. So here we have a gate. Sadly though, when it comes to gates, They're not really prepared for infinite jump glitches. There we go. And we just go past it. So this is the, well, yeah. So here we've got the area called Ezofuchi. You might recognize a word there. And right there we got this giant arc. Now the giant arc is the true final area of the game. And you're supposed to only be able to go into it very late into the story, because it's, well, the final place. However, the loading zone for the arc already exists. So all we need to do right now is do 6 KTs in a very specific spot. 3 to go into that loading zone. 4. 5. 6. Oh, I missed it. There we go. Ta-da! And we're in the final area. So this final area is sadly, how do I put it? Kind of boring. It's a boss rush, so we're going to be seeing a bunch of bosses that we skipped throughout the run. And we're going to have to fight them anyway. Because once you defeat all the bosses, the loading zone to the final boss appears. This is also the reason why we needed to collect a couple of brush powers, because we need those brush powers to defeat these enemies. So for this one you're supposed to have a time slowing brush power, but we can just skip that because he has this specific attack. That allows us to kill him anyway. So yeah, the boss rush skip is kind of the holy grail. If it ever gets found, this category would probably be half an hour to 45 minutes long instead of 1 hour and 17 minutes is the world record right now. Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. So yeah, for this boss we would have to use the water spout boss. We have to use water spout, and this is honestly kind of a cool strat. So what I'm going to be doing, this is Orochi. It's got 8 heads. In the first phase, you're supposed to make 3 heads drunk using the water that's in those golden pools. Now what you can do is you can trigger one specific one of the heads to do an attack, and then you can trigger multiple heads, and then you can get 3 heads drunk at the same time. Right here. And we do it twice. And now we've got 3 heads on at the same time. Well, need to make sure I don't cross my line. There we go. Now we're gonna go into the second phase. So now during the second phase, all of the heads are damageable. And because we're overpowered, it just takes 1 hit. New Game Plus is fun. There's still an element of timing here. Like that one, I failed the timing. And you also have all that falling fire that you see. That's completely random. So you can like get hurt by fire like that, and then you get basically dunked on. Or like me, you're just an idiot like there. Okay, do that again, please. If you could. Do something similar. Wow! sometimes you can just get absolutely owned over here. There we go. So yeah, after this boss, we're gonna go into the boss where we need Vine for. So yeah, the whole reason why we got Vine is specifically for this upcoming boss. If we didn't need to do this boss, we didn't need to go to Tsuta Ruins, and we didn't need to get hacked by a stupid cutscene skip that only takes 1 frame to do. I'm totally not mad or anything. So yeah, this is Spider Queen, the boss of Tsuta Ruins. Right at the start, I'm gonna vine myself to the other side. This allows me to manipulate the camera in a certain way that makes it a little bit easier to vine all of her hooks. Like, come on, stupid brush. There we go. And then we use 2 slips to... To defeat her. And there we go. So yeah, does chat have any questions they would like to have answered? We've got some time to kill. Like I said, this is kind of the boring section of the run. Even in casual play, it kind of screeches the whole run. The whole game to a halt. This bit, there's a lot of like backstory and exposition that gets told to you, and a lot of pieces fall into place. But yeah, so anything silly or fun. I would like to show off the Oni Island origin warp. It is probably my favorite one. So yeah. Why do they call it? Oh my god, I hate... It's the worst meme. I really don't like it. Do we have time? Okay, cool. I'm gonna go 1 minute overestimate. Something like that. Maybe a bit more. Can tell you that much already. 1.5 minutes. That's fine. Just so you know, it's fine. Oh yeah, by the way, that was Crimson Helm. Yeah, very forgettable boss. he dies so quickly, I just kind of... you don't need Water Spout if we can do Arc Boss skip. So here we have Ninetales again. It's the same as... It's the same as earlier, so yeah. Just have to hit. I always go a little bit early on that one accidentally. It's hard to time it properly. Go. Now this time it's a little bit more tricky to one-shot Ninetales, so I tend to just try it and then instantly go for a slip. Because with the fact that Ninetales just starts moving immediately, you can't get full damage off, and you need to finish him off with a slip anyway. Or I could show off the sunken ship bit. Oh, I've got choices. I actually have choices. Not sure if I have an easy save file nearby, but I've got choices. Sunken ship will take longer, for sure. So yeah, now we're gonna go into the final boss fight. This is Yami. Now the idea of this boss fight is that at the start of the fight you lose all of your brush powers, and whenever you damage a certain phase enough, you get a brush power back. Now the cool thing about this boss fight is that we also get the brush powers we technically never got, which is really, really fun. I'll just do the on the island thing, Zana. So, there we got the first phase. And because we are so ridiculously overpowered, what's it called? We basically just like can instantly deplete the full health bar of a phase sometimes. Like with this one, and then it just becomes a case of getting all the brush powers back and then moving on to the next phase. So we've kind of dubbed this the auto-scroller boss because sadly it's a little bit anticlimactic in the run. So just there we got water spout back so we can use water again. And if we wouldn't have water, we could still use it even though we technically never gotten it. So I believe we get... I don't remember what we got there. So for the next phase, I like to call this rigging the slots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So yeah, by using 5 slips, we basically just rigged this slot machine, and every time it'll give us a brush power back. And once we get the final brush power, we just leave it. There we go. I don't even remember which ones I'm getting back at this point. Not very important. Ooh, that's early. Also, fun fact, because this is a New Game Plus file, I have this ability. I can make explosive poops. But yeah, for instance, right now we just got mist, and ta-da, we can use it, even though we've never actually gotten it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fun. So yeah, this phase is basically just like, just use slips and you're done. It's sadly like, yeah. This is why we call this the auto-scroller boss. Hey, we can make explosive poops. Very important. So yeah, right here we're gonna use one more slip. There we go. And then we're gonna go into the final phase of this run. Yeah, okay, we're gonna use Sunrise, which we still don't get the animation for. And that's the run, there we go. That is the new game plus 70%. So yeah, the cool thing about this run is that we go through the game as quick as we can. And it forgot to split. Oops, there we go. So yeah, that's the cool thing about this category. It's a lot of fun that way. Alright, here we're gonna get some stuff. Gonna get some grades, and I did really bad about it. There we go. And I'm gonna go straight into showing off the Oni Island Origin Warp. While I'm loading that up, I would like to give a giant shout out to the Ōkami community. They're all like, you're all like really cool. There's a bunch of cool people, especially now with the newer versions. You can easily learn the new game speedrun, which has a beginner route, which is a lot of fun to do. So if you want to speedrun this game, go to the speedrun.com page and you can find our Discord there. And just ask us as many questions as you want. A lot of new stuff has been found recently, and we're still kind of getting to grips with the fastest routes and everything. So yeah, big shout out to everyone. I actually recently beat the world record for this category, which I'm very proud of. It's probably gonna get bopped back, which is fine. I don't mind it at all. It's how it goes, and you know, I don't feel like improving it anyway. It's Origin Warp is just too annoying. So yeah, honestly. Okay, so I'm gonna do something a little bit differently. I'm gonna grab a different. There we go. So basically, what I'm doing right here, by the way, is I got that, and that holds the direction. And if I can hear a step, I haven't gotten it. Okay, so I didn't get the glitch, so I'm gonna have to do it again. And this is the reason why I only really go for it once in runs. Because it's a pain to get back. I'm gonna get some proper focus for the next bit. So it's important to hold the direction there so you can listen to if you've gotten the trick or not. If you've gotten the frame or not. Nope. Wow. Very unlucky. Oh my god. So this is the annoying part about Origin Warps. Oh my. And need I remind you that KTs are a frame perfect trick, which makes life so much fun to do. Come on, I can do this. Wow! Getting really unlucky. Usually it doesn't take this long. I am sorry for ruining your schedules, Anna. Fell into the cutscene. Ah! There's like a little cutscene right there guarding you from leaving the area. So that's why I have to do these KTs. So basically just jump over the cutscene and then I can leave it. At some point in a different category, that fact was a possibility to become a new strat. Okay, wow. I am just not getting it. I'm gonna try it one more time, and if I don't get it, then I'm just gonna call it. So yeah, imagine this, but for the Gilstorm one in that I did earlier. Sometimes you just really get unlucky. Okay, come on. Nope, okay. Well. I couldn't show it off. That's sad. Yeah. You just have to mash for it and get lucky. So, I'm sorry I couldn't show that one off to you guys. It's really fun. I'll kind of describe what happens. When you respawn at 0, basically you just instantly get catapulted up, which is really funny to me. It's a really fun little thing. Because there's some weird interaction going on with the gravity and the collision. So yeah. But yeah, once again, thank you everyone for watching my run. Thank you, Xana, for inviting me. Do be sure to donate. And up next we have Ori and the Blind Forest, I see. So, thank you for watching.